Hey everybody. Well, last weekend was amazing with Savior. We had such an amazing breakthrough. We had so many things happen. Seeing these ladies come to life, changing right before you is probably the most humbling experience ever. Thank you so much for everybody's prayers. Now, one of the things I want to share with you guys that I had taught at the end of the class was about what are our goals? What do we do now? Now that we've gone through this class, now that we've faced the things that we face, what's next? Well, the very next thing is, what are our goals? I challenge them to make 3 goals, 3 personal goals, not so much for their family, but for themselves. 3 personal goals that they want to achieve, that they want to do whatever it is, whatever it may be, that was for them. And basically giving them the steps of how to do that. And that's something that I want to share with you guys. So what I want to share with you guys is that how do I make goals and how do I make them come to pass? So statistically, there's about 90% of people who don't know what they want to do, don't know their visions and goals and dreams or anything of that sort. Sometimes we say we have this dream, but it becomes more of a wish upon a star, and then we never actually try to reach it or set goals or any kind of steps in order to reach that. I remember right before I turned 30, I said, I'm gonna make these goals. I want to accomplish these things before I turn 30. And I prayed, I even wrote a little prayer on the little list of the 30 things that I wanted to do before I turned 30. And right before my 30th birthday, I found the list, I looked at it, and I thought, none of these came to pass. And I remember being so upset, like, God, I wrote it down. I made it plain. I even prayed. I even put a prayer on there. I mean, my gosh. I mean, how much more spiritual can I get? Right? And then I'll never forget what God told me. And it really put things into perspective that I didn't realize what I wasn't doing. He said, and you see, let me tell you one of the things that was on there. One of the things I wanted to do was go skydiving, amongst some other goals that I had on there. But this is the one that he used. And he said, do you expect me to pick you up and drop you out in the sky and that's how you go skydiving? And I remember thinking, that's so silly. I expected God to take me skydiving? No, I was not even making plans or steps to figure out how I can go skydiving. I didn't know how much it was. I didn't know where I can go skydiving. I didn't have any goals or anything set as to when I was going to do these things. I didn't ask any questions, nothing like that. I literally just wrote it down, made it plain, and expected God to answer that. Isn't that crazy? Well, I think we do that a lot with our goals and our visions and our dreams and the things that we kind of just hope that maybe one day that God would just drop us out of the sky and make it happen. So that was one of the things that I began to realize. So what did I do? I wrote it down, made it plain, and I began to realize that I needed to set steps in order to accomplish those goals. And so let's just take, for instance, a skydiving goal that I wanted to have for me. I needed to find out how much does it cost? What is it going to take for me to save? How long is that goal going to cost? Let's say it's $150. I save $20 every check. Okay, I won't have the money until this time, and therefore, da-da-da-da. So where am I going to go skydiving? Finding those locations, the safe locations that are okay, those type of things. You know, when am I going to go? When am I going to go do it? Am I going to do it alone? Am I going to have friends come with me? And so those are some of the things, the steps that you do within a goal. And it's the same concept for anything else. So we need to write our goals down. We need to make them plain. But we need to set steps and goals to accomplish that. Now, one of the biggest things that people tend to say is that, well, I don't have the finances. I don't have the finances for this and that. I want to challenge you for something. So one time, one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to create videos. This is kind of the biggest goal, biggest thing. One of many things that I always said, I wish upon a star one day I'll be able to create videos and do all these amazing things, right? And the thing that stopped me was I didn't have a fancy camera. And at the time I had a camera, I think it was a 4S on my phone. And I remember telling God, God, expand my territory because I want to do all these amazing things and I don't have the resources. I don't have the ability. God, I want to go back to school because I want to get educated in certain areas and certain things so I can get better at it. But I don't have the finances. Once again, we always go back to the finances. So I want to share 2 things that we tend to miss out on opportunities in the things that God has for us. So one of the things that God told me, he said, when I was asking him to expand my territory, he said, Bonnie, you have what you need right there in front of you. And I said, no, God, I've used every nook and cranny. I've used everything. How can I have anything else? What's the resources? I don't have a camera. I don't have the schooling. And those are kind of the two primary examples. And he said, yes, but you have your phone. And I began to realize that I wasn't using everything that I had to my advantage. You see, I had a camera on my phone. Yes, it's nothing compared to one of those amazing fancy cameras, but there's an opportunity for me to practice and to get better at myself, my presentation, and the things that I have in front of the camera that I do have. So I started making videos in with my Camera 4S. So I began to study how I can make videos with my camera on my phone. Of course, I progressed and now I have a 7 Plus. But as we began to show me and make me realize that I wasn't using my full territory. Now God has blessed me in such an amazing way that now I have a camera. Now I have the ability to do other things and do greater things. And so I believe that God will be, because of our faithfulness and the resources that he's given us, if we use them to the fullest, with no excuses, no complaining, and giving it all we got, God will give us that opportunity to have a greater chance of other things, greater resources and things like that. Now, the example that I want to give about school, well, you all guys know, man, 9 days and counting, I will be walking the stage. Isn't that crazy? I started school back in 2001. And of course, life happens, things go in and out, crazy things, right? But one of the things was I wanted to go back and finish. And I once again prayed, asked God to expand my territory, give me the opportunity, the finances, and the, things like that. And in that season, in that moment before I started school, I didn't have the finances. And so that was really hard for me. And the way I can utilize the territory that God has given me was my ability to search online, to go to continue education courses that were free, that I didn't have to have a license, where I can continue to learn, to read books that educated me and helped me learn and grow in areas that would benefit not only me, but the ministries that I'm in. I utilized every nook and cranny that I could, from the online to CEUs to books, and then God opened an opportunity and opened a door. And I'm proud to say that I finished my degree December. So I don't want to get emotional or anything like that with you guys, but I want to tell you that God is faithful. Don't give up. Write it down, make it plain, and write out the steps that it'll take for you to accomplish those goals. Know that with God, all things are possible, and trust him that he will make a way where there seems to be no way. So what are you going to do today? Check out those goals. Bring them back out. Those things that you may set aside and thought that would never happen, bring them back out. Give it to God and ask him, what can I do today? What can I do right now? I have written down so many different things, but write it out and make it plain in such a way that you have the ability, if you ever have the opportunity to present it before people, that it's ready, set, and it's ready to go. So I love you guys. I'm going to keep y'all in prayer, and I know that God has great, amazing things. So don't lose hope. Trust in God and know that with God, all things are possible. And as my shirt says, be still and know. Love you guys.